Jay for a second here. What are some other ways that people could sort of leverage the current environment, the pandemic world that we live in right now, to create some passive income?
Well, I'll go through a rapid litany, and I'll take some macro and then give you specific examples. So right now, there's 5 or 6 windows of screaming opportunity that are starting to close, but they've been created sadly by the crisis, but they're great opportunities to benefit others as well. First one is there'll never be a time, I think, in the history of entrepreneurship where more business owners and professionals are open to doing deals, collaborating, joint venturing, profit partnering, letting you sell things to their audience, letting you get control of their product service and take it to any audiences you want, letting you add new products or services, figuring out new ways to monetize their business, ways to monetize their inactive buyers or clients or patients. So that's one thing. Second, there's so many businesses that are so paralyzed right now, and they're stuck, they're stalling, they're stagnant, or they're suffocating, and many of them are going to probably go out of business because they don't have a good strategy. They're reactively tactical. You can get control of their assets. You don't need to buy the business. You can get their buyers, you can get their URL, you can get their phone number, you can get their IP, and you can consolidate it, and you can pay that owner ongoing a percentage of the revenue, but you don't have to do anything with it. You flip it to somebody else and you put yourself in the middle. We call that being in the toll position or the middleman position. There's so many people out of work right now, and people don't understand that screaming opportunity, as Rich says. It's polarized. About half or more are going to be low-skilled people, and it's very sad, and we have great empathy, but it's not relevant for this conversation. A surprisingly high portion are super high-skilled, and before they lost their jobs, they had access, influence, trust, credibility, and were connected to some of the biggest decision makers, influencers, heads of divisions, categories, departments, and they're sitting unemployed, dying on the vine, scared and reactive. You can find them and you can make connections you'll never be able to make anywhere else, and just give them finder's fees, and you can take those connections to any of a number of other businesses and let them access them, and you can put yourself in the middle. There are probably 3 million salespeople out of work right now because either their company's consolidated or what they were selling isn't being bought. They are dying on the vine. You can find them in a number of places. You can connect them to a concept and then make them available to any of a number of companies to either use them to acquire those 3 things I talked about, or have them all deployed for any company you want, and you can put yourself in the middle. Then there's the coolest thing in the world, which is one of many of these 10 prosperity pathways that are part of this program. But one of them is getting control of assets and access. You know how people flip property, Joe?
Yep.
You can flip assets and access. I'll give you a good couple of examples. In 2 different recessions, I had colleagues or clients that did exactly that. And I can give you loads of examples, but the ones that's pretty cool. One of them came to Los Angeles 3 recessions ago. He looked for opportunities where he could get passive income by identifying overlooked intangible assets no one else saw and could connect the dots. He saw the Rose Bowl. You know what the Rose Bowl is, where they play the football game. UCLA does their games there. He saw that it was only being used for those football games and some concerts on evenings, on weekends, and he realized that it was perfect for flea markets. It had massive 50,000 person parking, huge display area. He went to the county that owned it. He made a deal to get the rights to do flea markets every weekend day it wasn't being used, or times on the weekends before concerts. He didn't know anything about flea markets, but he got control of the rights, and he had renewal rights on it. He was going to pay the county a percentage. As soon as he tied those rights up, he found the largest flea market management company. He flipped that intangible asset to them for $500,000 cash and an override, and he made millions of dollars for doing nothing. And I haven't checked with him, but I think he's still getting his override. I had a guy I'm just giving you a few wild concepts. I had a guy in Australia many years ago who basically figured out that there was a law that said they could not do any external advertising on any of the office buildings downtown. But there was no law saying you couldn't do advertising inside the buildings. He went and got the rights to all the windows out at all the buildings on floor level. He didn't know anything about advertising, but when he tied them up, he went to the sign company in the city and flipped it for a lot of cash and an override. I basically made deals with tons of people, and I've guided tons of people. Today, as an example, home improvement is screamingly popular. But most home improvement companies do one thing. If you think about anybody watching this who owns a house or a condo, if you've ever done any singular home improvement, let's call it kitchen remodeling. Now you get it done, and guess what? You get this beautiful kitchen, the rest of your house looks like crap. So then you go, God, I better do the bathrooms, then you got to do the carpet, then you're going to paint, then you're going to do the garage door, then you're going to do the roof, then you're going to do the landscape, then you're going to do the pool. And if you think about it, any singular home improvement lead is a lead for any other home improvement company, even ones that don't buy. When you realize that money connection, you can make deals with any home improvement company for either their clients after they do the job, their inactive clients from the past, their clients that or their prospects that didn't buy, and you can flip them to all kinds of home improvement companies for 25%. And just that deal, you just keep cycling it, and you set up more and more, and you crisscross. I mean, I can go on and on. We used to buy the rights to reactivate or monetize people's inactive subscribers, buyers, the prospects that didn't sell. People that sell one thing in a category don't realize that same buyer is normally buying some things that are related before, during, after, instead. If you get the rights to just sell all the other things, you don't have to do anything. Now you've got the right. You go to all the people that sell products people buy before, during, after, instead, and you connect them, and it's great. Alternative as well. Let's say, Joe, that you sold a supplement for weight loss, okay? Well, you get people buying your supplement. If you interviewed, which I've done, 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people who have weight problems, they don't just do one thing. They usually do one thing long enough to not follow through and be frustrated, then do another or another. Many of them do multiple things concurrently. So if you sold a weight loss supplement and I went to you and said, I'll tell you what, I want the right to all your inactive old buyers and all the buyers that actually quit as soon as they quit. And frankly, let me try the ones that are buying, because those are the same people that are buying portion control food. They're buying online or private training. They're buying equipment. They're buying books. You could sell all of those, but you don't have to sell anything. All you need is the right. And then you go to any of the people selling that and you say, I've got access. I want a fee against or plus a permanent percentage. And I can show you, Rich, you take.